What is up, everybody? This is the Petty Eddie podcast, and of course, I am King Edward 15 on Twitter, Eddie Mac, whatever you would like to call me. Uh, just you know, whatever you like. Back this week, I'm batting leadoff for Network 216 again. There will be no Faithful Dogs podcast following my show. They're taking the week off, but they'll be back next week, better than ever, and they'll be reacting to whatever moves the Browns make over the course of the next week. As next Wednesday, March 15th, is the official start of the new league year, but the official tampering period is going to be starting on Monday the 13th. That's going to be very exciting. Cannot wait to see what that brings, especially for the Browns. Obviously, this is more a Brown-centric show, but I'm going to talk more about the NFL today. The rest of the NFL, I like to switch it up from time to time. A lot of good things happen, but Faithful Dogs will not be on tonight. I believe Dog Chug is. Until I get official word, I'm just going to say they are. I have not heard that they are not. And if I'm corrected sometime during the show, then I'll say that. If not, Ross, Roger, and Andy all come at you at 10 p.m. right here on the Network 216 YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave us comments. If you want to comment along, feel free to during the show. Get us up some subscribers. Excuse me. Let's get this thing to 2,000. I think what the goal is 2,000 by the end of spring, which a lot of content is going to be heating up here shortly. Everyone's going to be talking about what the Browns are doing, if they improved the team, if they made stupid decisions, if they made smart decisions, if some of the guys on our wish list have come off. A lot of good content coming. The guys over the rest of the team has been killing it. There's Browns draft combine standouts. There's free agency of Marcus Epps. There's all sorts of different free agency videos. There's a Cavs minute every now and then. There's trade rumors. This one's talking about Neymar possible summer exit. I know Tyler Johnson is a big soccer guy, and he's going to be bringing more soccer content to the network. So if you are a fan of that, make sure to subscribe. Network 216 on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@ symbol network _216, just like you would find it on Twitter at network _216. We're trying to produce daily content for you guys, and a lot of the guys are killing it doing just that. Can't wait to see what everyone has in store. I'm hoping Dog Chug comes on tonight. Here's my cat. She says hello. Obviously, she has to come on most shows. I hope Dog Chug is on tonight. It's a great show. If not, then they'll be back next week, I'm sure. But I'm almost positive they're on. No one said otherwise. And if I'm wrong, then I'll be wrong. Before we go any further with this show, of course, I got to talk to you about our friends over at Homage. Homage.com, the best shirts, the best hoodies, the best quality, the best fabric, the best everything when it comes to shirts, hoodies, and that of the likes. Make sure to go check them out. Make sure to check out links all over network _216 on Twitter. Some people I know yesterday took advantage. There was a sale. Someone took advantage of using our platform, so thank you for that. Make sure to do that. We keep up with the latest sales. You might not see all the sales, so someone from the network tweets it out. A lot of us retweet it and like it, and we share it throughout our own social platforms. So make sure to go check that out. Seriously, this hoodie is great. The person who ordered this yesterday, they said they couldn't find the orange hoodie using the link, and I clicked on it real quick. So there's a thing with when you go to the site, not everything is like everything is listed, but you have to go switch to the color. So if you want this hoodie in orange or this shirt in orange, if it's available, obviously you can go click the little orange button and you'll get that orange shirt. Select your size, check out. We appreciate it. But yeah, Homage.com, fantastic clothing. I have one of their shirts on right now. That's wrong. That was yesterday. Sorry. I do have this hoodie on of theirs. Super comfortable. It's not like an overbearing hoodie. If it's like warm out, you're not going to be overly warm. If it's cold out, you're not going to be overly cold. It's a nice balance. The fabric is fantastic. Make sure to check them out. Homage.com over at Twitter at Homage, all caps for Homage. Make sure to check them out. Quality stuff, quality people. Can't wait to continue working with them and see what we can cook up with them down the road. Hopefully some giveaways, hopefully some discount codes. Things are being discussed like that. That's things I'm speaking into existence. I think the rest of the team would follow suit with that. Homage.com. Make sure you get hooked up. They have all your gear for Browns, for the Cavs who are about to make a playoff push. They have some Blue Jackets gear. They have Ohio State gear. The Guardians are about to get underway in about a month or so. Make sure to get gear from them. Obviously, Browns again. Most of our stuff is Browns. But then if you don't want sports stuff or you want other teams, they have them. If you want, they have different mashups with like superheroes and teams and the Grateful Dead and teams. They have pop culture stuff like The Office and Legends of the Hidden Temple, MTV. They have Budweiser shirts for, I believe, all 32 NFL teams. They just have it all. They have a bunch of pop culture, a great selection, a great Christmas selection. They just had a new line released today in honor of National Women's Day, National Women's Month. The All-American Girls Collection. I'm reading this right here. All sorts of different designs. Despite Title IX, there are less opportunities for women in baseball. There were in the years of All-American Girls Professional Baseball League of the 40s and 50s. American Girls Baseball aims to build on the legacy of AAG PBL by giving girls and women the opportunity and training to compete in America's pastime at every level. Our latest collection reps the incredible women of past and present who have helped make baseball a sport for all. Hit it out of the park, All American Girls. Make sure to check this out. There's some really cool designs on here. There's also a tidbit here. Tori Stone, I did not know this until I saw this email this morning, and I'm reading it to you now, so I don't know how many of you guys know this. Toni Stone was the first woman to play as a regular in any professional American baseball team. She played for the Indianapolis Clowns. That's fantastic. I'm going to have to look into more info on that after the show is over because I think that's a fascinating thing. I'm excited to delve into that. But yeah, homage.com. If you go and subscribe to their emails, you get the emails for the different promotions they're putting out, different lines they're putting out, and for different coupons. Make sure to check them out. Homage.com and over at Twitter at homage, all caps for that. But yeah, so again, Faithful Dogs podcast not coming on tonight. They're taking the week off. Work is busy for all three of them. Excuse me, not both, all three. And that's cool. That happens. Life happens. We're allowed to take breaks. We're allowed to give ourselves breaks. And I implore them for doing that. But again, next week they're going to be back. They've been killing it. If you follow the Faithful Dogs podcast, FD podcast, CLE on Twitter, you'll know what I'm talking about. They've been killing it. They've been getting everything that everyone's been hearing, from Matthew Berry to Jared Mueller to anyone else, Mary Kay Cabot. They get the information and post it there. So that's been a huge help for me for my writing for Dog Pound Daily. Some of these things I see and I'm just like, oh, wow, that's a nice thing to write on. Let's see if I can write on that. And go from there. So they've been killing it. Make sure to check them out next week. Make sure to check out past episodes if you'd like on the YouTube page. Dog Chug, as far as I know, they're on at 10. I haven't heard anything else, so I'm going to say they're on. If they're not on, then I'm sorry. But no one's told me otherwise, so let's hope they are on. Great show. Ross, Roger, and Andy always bringing laughs and joy. And, sometimes it's not, a joyous occasion here as a Cleveland Browns fan, but they make the most of it. Last week, they were Cavs Chug. I don't know if the Cavs play tonight or not. I don't keep up with the Cavs like that. They probably do play for all I know. Let's see. They do actually. They play the Heat at 7:30. So they might be on after the Cavs game, just like they were last week against the Celtics. So make sure to check them out. Make sure to follow everyone's account all over the Network 216 platform. There's way too many people to list, so I'm not going to do that. Because I know I'll leave someone out, and then I don't want to do that to anyone. Just make sure to check out the team. Yeah, like I said, more talk on the NFL this week. A little Browns talk scattered in there, obviously, because that's what that's what we do. But I do want to talk about the NFL. I don't write about the NFL anymore. I write only about the Browns. That might change this year. We'll see. Haven't decided yet. But I have a podcast, so I can. Everyone has a podcast, so I can talk about the NFL just like I'm sure hundreds, if not thousands, of other people have done. But here's my takes on it. It's always a fun thing to get your takes out there, and if people agree with you, great. If they don't, great. To me, it doesn't matter. You can think I'm an idiot and think I'm a genius. I'm probably somewhere in the middle. Probably closer to the idiot side. I don't know. Just how it is. A lot of things happening in the NFL over the past couple of days. Yesterday was the deadline for the franchise tag, and there were 6 players that got the tag. I'll just list them right now. Saquon Barkley of the Giants, Evan Ingram of the Jaguars, Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Josh Jacobs of the Raiders, Daron Payne, someone who every Cleveland Brown fan wanted in brown and orange this year. It's probably not going to happen. He got tagged. Daron Payne, defensive tackle of the Commanders, running back Tony Pollard. They all got the non-exclusive tags, meaning they can go out and seek new deals, but they could their team can match them. And then get, draft compensation for it. So, Yeah, with the tag, that brings us to a very the central talk of the NFL right now is Lamar Jackson, and he got the non-exclusive franchise tag, and that's for about $32.4 million this year. But what that does do is gives him the chance to go shop for a new deal if another team will give him that. But the Ravens do have a chance to match that should they so choose. If not, they can decide to take 2 first-round picks from whatever team decides to sign Lamar to an offer sheet. And I think this is best for all parties involved. Honestly, if you think about it, gives Lamar a chance to test the market without being a free agent. And then if Baltimore says, all right, yeah, that's a good price, we're going to pay that. Here, Lamar, stay with us. That could happen. It's weird to me, though, that as soon as the news came out that, he was being tagged or whatever, that the Panthers and the Falcons came out and were like, no, we're not interested. When just a year ago, those two teams, along with the Browns, obviously, and about half the rest of the teams in the NFL were inquiring about Deshaun Watson. The Browns obviously got him. And hopefully that's big things for us moving forward. But they were all clamoring for him. Atlanta was mad because Deshaun didn't give him a chance to match the offer because they said they would have the fully guaranteed money. And then the Panthers don't have a quarterback either. They traded for Baker Mayfield last year, and then they released him. He went to the Rams, and there's Sam Darnold down there, and I don't remember who else is there. I don't remember the kid that got hurt last year. Could they trade up in the draft? Sure, absolutely. That's probably what they're going to. But if they're looking to go all in on a quarterback, why not try to go all in on Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson is absolutely worth 2 first-round picks. The Browns gave up 3 for Deshaun Watson. The Broncos gave up a ton of picks and 3 players for Russell Wilson, and that turned out to be disastrous for all involved for the first season anyway. But yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but I do know Lamar wants the fully guaranteed contract. Now, I think there's some discrepancies in how people view that. I think a lot of people think that he wants Deshaun Watson money, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think he wants 100% of his contract guaranteed. I don't blame him. He's betting on himself. He doesn't have as much leverage in this situation. He can shop for his own deal with whatever team he wishes to talk to, and that will talk to him. One thing that could hurt him is he doesn't have an agent. He represents himself, which I think is very admirable. I think that's very cool. If you can negotiate on behalf of yourself, then do so. If not, obviously hire someone. But he doesn't feel he needs to do that, which is cool. That's cool to me. I don't really think that has the biggest impact in the world on if teams want to negotiate with him or not. I think it comes down to the guaranteed money. People are always like, oh, well, why the quarterbacks, you can't have good roster around. That's not true. The salary cap isn't real. No cap. Shout out Dog Pound Daily for that one. But yeah, it's a bizarre situation where you have this 26-year-old quarterback who's in the prime of his career, former MVP of the league, does things that not a lot of quarterbacks can do, has a way different skill set than everyone else, has shown he can be the best player in the NFL, obviously with the MVP season, has taken his team to the playoff multiple times. And I want to hear, we choked in the playoffs or he's this and that in the playoffs. I don't care. It gets to the playoffs. I would love for the Browns to be an annual playoff team because every year we're in the playoffs. Obviously, the Super Bowl is the end goal, but I would love just to be in the playoffs. That 2020 season was magical. That game against Pittsburgh. Kevin Stefanski talked about it on the Pardon My Take podcast that came out today. He wasn't even coaching there, but that game was just, great. I want that every year, and I want to keep going further and further. But yeah, so I don't want to hear any of that. He's an electric player, and all these teams that are quarterback desperate and quarterback hungry, not going after him. I think it really comes down to he wants the guaranteed money. I don't blame him for that. He could go back and play on the tag this year. So it's about $32 million. Next year, I think it jumps up to about $41 million. And then he would have leverage in free agency unless I think it's only twice you can tag him. So next year would be another year, and then he'd have all the leverage in free agency to go do whatever he wanted. So maybe that's how this plays out. I hope not. I hope for the sake of Lamar, he gets the best deal possible for him. I love Lamar as a player. I hate the fact that he plays for the Baltimore Ravens. I would love for him to I just got confirmation, by the way, sorry, that Dog Chug is on tonight. Ross, Roger, and Andy bringing you a great show. It's like a late night sketch show type deal. It's fantastic. Just fantastic. I don't know what guests they have right now, but they're on 10 o'clock. Make sure to watch them here. But back to Lamar. He could play the next 2 years on the tag. He could, possibly get a deal. I hope for him, for his sake, he gets the best deal that he thinks is for him. And I also hope that it's another team, preferably an NFC team, so we don't have to see him that many times. I'm tired of playing against Lamar. I just want to be a fan of Lamar and root for him. But I can't do that fully in Baltimore. I can hype him up at different points and talk about how great he has been and all that. But I hate it. I want him to play for, I don't care who it is. It could be the Panthers. It could be the Falcons. The Lions. Who knows? I don't care who it is. Just as long as it's someone that's the NFC and he's out of the AFC North. If you went elsewhere in the AFC, that'd be okay, I guess. But I'd rather not have that because there's already a gauntlet of quarterbacks in the AFC. So yeah, just get out of the AFC entirely, especially the AFC, and go from there. But I wish him well. I hope he does get the deal he seeks. That's very admirable to, negotiate for yourself for things that you think that you're worth. Not everyone's going to see your worth as what you see it as. And that's why you got to fight and negotiate for it. And I'm glad he's doing that. And I really don't think there's collusion going on. Maybe the owners don't want to give those guaranteed contracts, but at some point down the road, that's going to be, a premium for quarterbacks is getting that guaranteed deal. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, they are all set to get raises. I believe it's next year they're eligible for them, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's next summer. And expect them to get hefty raises, but I would not. I don't think that. I do think that there are going to be more guaranteed deals. The Deshaun Watson is not the first guaranteed deal in NFL history, a fully guaranteed deal. It is the most lucrative. It is the biggest one that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I looked at another message. Sorry. You're going to need to pay the quarterback. And, I think these guaranteed deals are going to become a thing. And again, Deshaun Watson has the most lucrative one, the biggest one in NFL history. Whether the Browns are stupid or not for that, we'll see. 5 years, he wins one Super Bowl. That's worth every penny. I'd obviously love multiple, as would most of you watching or listening. But that's not always how it works. But Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed contract. No one batted an eye at that. I understand it was way less money, significantly less money. But come on now. I guess it is what it is. I just don't understand. The guarantee money is going to have to come. The revenue is going to keep going up, and these quarterbacks, the most important position in all of team sports, is going to want to be paid, and they should be paid. And I don't think the Browns, factor into this. Maybe because they get the driving price up for Lamar, and Lamar can see what he has, what he can get. He wants that guaranteed money. I don't know if he necessarily wants the, $254 million or whatever it was, 230 or whatever it was. I forget the Deshaun number. But he wants 100% paid. And a lot of people are going to knock him. Oh, he's injury prone. I don't know if he's injury prone. He has struggled with injuries 2 years in a row, but that's 2 years after winning an MVP. Look at the Ravens with him versus without him. That's a lot more valuable than stats a lot of the time. And even though he obviously produces the stats to put them in position to win, they've been in the playoffs for, I believe, most of his tenure as the quarterback there. So you can't take that. They were 8-4 this year before he got hurt, and then they limped into the playoffs and then got beat. They had a chance to win that game, but then things did not go their way. But yeah, I just don't see how you're not paying this dude. He's 26 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He has a unique skill set that defenses have struggled with at times, and he's shown that he can do it with his legs. He can make throws too. I don't care when anyone says he can make throws. He might not make all the way. He can make throws. I've seen him do it. It is just insane. So, and here's 4 years of Lamar. Number 3 seed in 2022 at 8-4 before injury. Number 3 AFC seed in 2021, excuse me, at 8-3 before injury. They were the number 5 seed in the AFC in 2020, and they were 11-5. Now think about that. That's when the Browns went to the playoffs and the Bengals also went to the playoffs. Or no, the Steelers, excuse me. The number one seed in the AFC in 2019, they were 14-2 that year. Obviously, they lost to the Titans first game they played. But there's no one that has interest in talking to him. I don't understand that. If it's about the money, you negotiate. I guess the Ravens are smart in this sense because they get to see what the market is for Lamar, and if they feel comfortable paying that, then they're obviously going to match that offer sheet. I just find it very bizarre that these teams that were hungry for a quarterback last year, and so much so, and this goes for the Browns obviously because they got him, for Deshaun Watson, who had all the off the field legal issues. We already know what they are. We're not going to delve back into those, but all of those issues he had, and yet teams were still willing to trade multiple first round picks and multiple third round picks and pay a bunch of money for the services of Deshaun Watson. The Browns won that sweepstakes. We're hoping that's going to rock us and roll us right to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl over these next 4 or 5 years and beyond. But no one wants Lamar Jackson. That's very strange to me. I don't really think it's the league colluding against Lamar Jackson. I think it's more the fact that I don't even know if collusion is the right word, but it's more the owners, I guess, somewhat colluding. I don't even know if that's the right word. They don't want to give out these guaranteed deals, but that's going to be a thing soon. Imagine if Patrick Mahomes was getting paid this year. He got a massive deal a few years ago. Not all that was guaranteed, but still. And I forget who it was that said it. I forget where I heard it, somewhere on Twitter earlier today. So if Joe Burrow were to get non-exclusively tagged, non-exclusively tagged next year, let's say, does that mean no one's going to be interested because he might want fully guaranteed money? No, that's insane. So why people sleep on Lamar so much and don't think he's good and don't think he's this and that, I don't understand that. I think Lamar is a fantastic player. Definitely, if he was on the Browns for his career, he would have been the best Browns quarterback, maybe ever, maybe even past Bernie. So hopefully Deshaun does that for us, obviously. But I just don't understand, Lamar not having interest, especially from these teams that were so desperate for a quarterback a year ago, where they were going to get someone with countless legal issues piling up one after another, after another, after another, after another. And it was, an alleged heinous act, that just boggles my mind. Lamar has not been in the trouble out the field. He just wants to win. And the Ravens have done him no favors, by the way. They have not given him a quality receiving core in his time there. You saw last week, I don't know if you saw, but the GM was saying that they have basically a lot of busts in the first round for wide receivers, and Rashad Bateman took offense to that, and he should, because Rashad Bateman and Lamar Jackson were balling this year before Lamar got hurt. So I just don't understand. I don't get why he's not getting. I don't get why teams aren't interested. Because again, the Deshaun Watson situation that probably would have turned a lot of teams off, depending on. But quarterback is the premium position in all of team sports. You don't have a good quarterback, you're likely not winning the Super Bowl. There's some exception. Now, I'm not saying Eli Manning was bad, but Eli Manning caught fire in the playoffs. He wasn't great in the regular season. He was like MVP and led them there. He caught fire in the playoffs at the right time. So obviously that can happen. But obviously, look, this year you had Patrick Mahomes win. Last year was Matthew Stafford, who's been a great quarterback for most of his career. I'm just going to say that. I don't care if he played for the Lions or not. Tom Brady was winning Super Bowl. Like, come on now. And look at the others. Joe Burrow was in it last year. Jalen Hurts was in it this year. So we really, I don't know. I just don't understand why Lamar does not have at least some sort of interest. And if it's because of the guarantee money, then that's asinine. But it is what it is. Not our problem. We as Browns fans just hope that he goes elsewhere. But yeah, let me have Tyler Johnson tell you all about Underdog Fantasy.
What's up, everybody? We know that daily fantasy never stops, and Network 216 is proud to be a partner with Underdog Fantasy. Very simple to use. All you have to do is go to underdogfantasy.com, and you will just click the sign in button. You'll create an account if you haven't done so already. If you've not created an account, it'll ask you to enter code 216, and they will double your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, live draft lobbies that you get to compete with you and your friends. It's no salary cap like DraftKings and FanDuel. You get to go to a draft lobby, pick the players you want, or you can do daily pick'ems, which give you access to all the NFL and NBA games for you to make your picks every single night. Again, go to underdogfantasy.com or use the Underdog Fantasy app on iOS or Android. Use code 216 to double your first deposit up to $100. Sign up today.
Absolutely. Sign up today. Underdog Fantasy. Code 216 matches your first deposit up to $100. That's free money. I know we all love free money. All of us do. No one hates free money. If you hate free money, then you're not real. That's my take on it. But anyway, back to the NFL. So we mentioned that, Lamar got tagged and talked about him for a little bit of time. The other players I already mentioned that got tagged. One of those was Saquon Barkley, and that was due to the fact that the Giants and quarterback Daniel Jones agreed to a 4-year, $160 million deal with up to $35 million in incentives, with $82 million guaranteed over his first 2 years. That makes the Deshaun Watson deal look better, honestly, to me. Also, you saw, another one that makes it look good. There's 2 other ones that make it look good. We'll talk about one more extensively in a minute. Geno Smith, I'm happy as hell that he got paid. It is very rare to see a quarterback get paid after one good season, but he balled out last year with Seattle and led them to the playoffs and earned that money. I forget what his was. 3 years, $105 million, but there's an out for them after the first year. Should they go and draft a quarterback or sign a veteran or something, another veteran, I guess. They just make the deals look better for the Browns, honestly. But Daniel Jones, 4 years, $160 million, $35 million up in incentives. So that could pan out to be a 4-year, $195 million contract. And no offense to Daniel Jones, he played very well this year. He helped lead my 2-quarterback league to a championship. Him, Patrick Mahomes, and Jared Goff. Appreciate all 3 of y'all. If he's getting $40 million a year, Deshaun Watson, before, the restructures and everything, as of right now, it'll be like a $46 million cap hit or salary, and then it's like a $54 million cap hit. That's obviously going to be restructured. Find Jack Duffin on Twitter. He's fantastic at breaking that down. One of my favorites to follow in terms of restructures and extensions and all that good stuff. The Giants then use the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley, so he does not hit the open market. That's smart because without Saquon last year, they didn't have much of an offense. Yes, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, whatever you want to call him, Danny Dimes. He played very well, but without Saquon, they weren't going to the playoffs probably. And he finally was healthy for almost a full season. I think it was the full season. So that's good for him. He was one of 3 running backs to get tagged. But now, before we get to the other 2 running backs that got tagged, the Giants now need to go out and get Daniel Jones some weapons, some receiving weapons. The Kenny Golladay massive contract that did not pan out is already done and over with. Maybe Slayton can pick it up this year. They need to go get Danny Dimes some weapons. I think they know this. I think that's what they're going to do. Josh Jacobs, the league's leading rusher, got the tag this year. I'm assuming he'll get some sort of deal done before the deadline. If not, he'll play on the tag. It's about $10.1 million for all running backs this year. So I think that was a smart move for them. Pollard in Dallas. I get why they did it. They have a 2-headed monster in the backfield of Zeke and Pollard and Zeke, whatever order you want to put it in. But just paying running backs all that money, they're paying over I think it's like $24 million or something for 2 running backs. That's steep. I don't even like paying Nick Chubb $14 million, even though I do think he's worth it. But in the NFL, that's not what wins you Super Bowls. And we can debate this any other time. Debate with me anytime you want at Kingler15. You see at the bottom of the screen here. Make sure to go do that if you want to. You don't have to. I wrote about how he should be limited this year instead of, he's not going to be traded, obviously. He should be limited to about 204 carries or so. You can go read it, dogpounddaily.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Make sure to comment on and make sure to check out all the other great writers. I just don't know about that one. Evan Ingram makes a ton of sense for the Jaguars to tag. He would have definitely got a deal somewhere else if he would have been able to leave. But he is like a tight end wide receiver hybrid, and him and Trevor Lawrence were great last year. And then you get Calvin Ridley back this year. Yeah, I'm gonna get to Calvin Ridley in a minute because he wrote a piece on Players Tribune I want to talk about. Fantastic read. We'll get back to that in a minute. Another quarterback deal that happened this week, excuse me. Derek Carr to the Saints, 4 years, $150 million, $100 million guaranteed. So again, the salary cap is not real. No cap, not real. The Saints were like $55 million over the cap, and then they just signed Carr to this massive deal. Obviously, you can prorate some of that and the signing bonuses and whatnot. But he just got 100 of his $150 million guaranteed. And Daniel Jones got over half of his contract fully guaranteed. But we can't give Lamar a fully guaranteed contract or something that he's going to be happy with. I don't know about that. That's mind-boggling to me. That is just... And that's no offense to Daniel Jones or Derek Carr. They're just not in the level of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is one of the few elite quarterbacks in this league, in my eyes. I truly believe that. I've seen a lot of him over the years, and I really do think he's in that upper echelon. The Carrs and the Jones of the world, they are like that next tier. They're not bad quarterbacks. They might have done better for the Browns over the past few years than what we've had there, even though Jacoby Brissett played well last year, Baker Mayfield played well in 2020. But they could have been better. We don't know. But they're just in that tier that's not elite. And that's okay. Not every player is going to be elite. Not all 32 quarterbacks are elite. That's never going to be a thing. That all of them are going to be elite. Growing and chilling with Mojo. What's up? How you doing tonight? Thank you for tuning in, commenting. Appreciate it. That's a cool name though. Growing and chilling with Mojo. I like that. I hope that's a podcast. I really do hope that's a podcast. That'd be sweet. But yeah, these guys are getting all this guaranteed money. Lamar just wants his deal in full, paid in full. That's it. He just wants that money. So yeah, those are some deals to put in perspective of Lamar wanting the guarantee money. Teams not interested, which again makes no sense to me. Back to Calvin Ridley. Last year, he got suspended for the year for gambling. I guess it was the end of the 2021 season. He was out away from the team, and then an NFL investigator, told him to come in, and he was gambling. He said he put like $1,500. He wrote on the Players Tribune. You can read all this there. He wrote on there that he put like $1,500 in. And he's going to put like $200 on NBA parlay, and then he made the parlay bigger and bigger, and then he just put the Falcons there. He said he hadn't talked to anyone on the Falcons. Was off the grid from them, but has all the love in the world for the Falcons. And he explains that, and I admire that, and I admire his vulnerability about talking about that and his upbringing, being in foster care system, his parents having issues with different things. Very, very, very deep piece from him, and he just wanted to get that off his chest before the season started, and I applaud him for that. I'm going to root even harder for him now. I've always enjoyed Calvin Ridley's game, but now I'm going to root even harder for him. And I think with Trevor Lawrence this year, he's going to ball out. And he even said that. He's like, put me with Trevor Lawrence, and I'm putting up 1,400 yards a season. I think that's very accurate. I think he can very much do that. Him and Ingram are going to be a problem. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I hate to say it, are going to be a problem for years to come. Offensively, defensively, they're going to be a problem. So, yeah, all the respect in the world for Calvin Ridley. Got jammed up in some shit that, should have known better probably, but at the same time, it is what it is. And I feel for him. I really do. And I'm glad that he's able to come back. He was reinstated last week. Can be in all team functions now moving forward. Extremely happy for him. Moving on into another wide receiver, and it's one that has been linked to the Browns quite a few times. It's the player that is named DeAndre Hopkins. I would love him in Cleveland. I don't care what anyone says, because first off, all these people are like, oh, we don't have the cap money to trade for him because he's going to want an extension and blah, 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 blah. First off, again, the cap's not real. No cap. If teams want to get deals done, they're going to get them done. And he said today on the Pat McAfee show that he's been hearing lots of trade talks. And he also said he would be flexible with his contract. So he can go to a team and try and win and not, get that massive lucrative deal. That would be great. And that right there opened everything for the Browns to swoop in and be like, all right, here you go. Hey, Arizona, will you take our number 98 pick this year? And we'll take on DeAndre Hopkins. If that's the case, great. And if so, then that would be fantastic. And a lot of people are like, no, he can't come to Cleveland because again, you guys aren't realizing that any deal that GMs want to pull off in the NFL, they're going to be able to pull it off. They could even sign him to an extension when he gets there and reduce his cap hit tremendously for the next 2 years. They did something similar with Jarvis Landry when they traded for him. He got tagged in Miami, got a deal, and they traded for him and restructured his deal. So yeah, restructures are a thing that could happen. I would love to see DeAndre Hopkins in Cleveland, back reunited with Deshaun Watson. Wow, that'd be crazy. I do think I don't hear things. I don't have sources yet. Hopefully I do one day, but I do not have sources. I just read everyone else who does have sources, and there's a lot of great. For as much as the Cleveland media gets shit on, there are a lot of good ones out there to follow. Too many to list right now. My favorite, Mary Kay Cabot, she is on top of everything. She was on top of Baker not being it before it was cool. There's, like I said, there's Jared Mueller. There's so many people that I can't even list right now. But I'm just like, wow. And they get shit on a lot. And I get it. Sometimes they can be, crash and brash and all that shit. But yeah, so I read up on them, see what they're saying, see what they're hearing. And a lot of people have said that the Browns are going to be big ticket hunters starting Monday. They can clear up cap room with the Deshaun Watson restructure. They can restructure other guys as well. And Barry even said that they're willing to kick the can as far down the road as they can. And I'm happy to hear that because you have to win now. If you can go out and get a DeAndre Hopkins and you can get a Draymond Jones, anyone that you've seen on any basically wish list or rankings of free agents the Browns can get. In fact, I might write about free agents tonight. Free agents that the Browns should not be afraid to spend money on. And there's going to be some interesting names in there, and I can't wait. And we'll talk about more of that next week. But yeah, there is going to be a lot of new. And Andrew Berry was said to be aggressive at the combine, one of the most aggressive GMs, talking to anyone and everyone about different trades and different free agents and all that stuff. I'm very excited for this offseason. This is a big offseason for the Browns. They finally have their franchise quarterback. They do not have to worry about the suspensions. I don't think, hopefully not. The suspension was last year. That's all off the table. They can go all in this year and be good for the next couple of years. And if they don't go the big money route, there's a lot of talented guys out there that they can sign for cheaper if they wish to go that route. But it seems like they're going to make some big plays at some guys. Maybe Jesse Bates. I'm all for any move that improves this team. I obviously would like them to address the interior defensive line, get a nice tackle or two to help Myles Garrett on that line and stuff the rush. And I'd like another edge. It doesn't have to be a big fancy name. There's a bunch of guys that could fill that void. I'm just excited to see what they do. Anything that improves this team, I don't care what it is, even if I don't agree with it. And I read into it and I'm like, oh wow, it does improve the team. Wow. Yeah, I want that. I want anything to improve this team. I want the playoffs. I want a Super Bowl. Kevin Stefanski said that too. He's not satisfied just going to the playoffs. He wants to win the Super Bowl. He's jealous of it. All the other coaches that have won one, guys he's coached with and against. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what they do. This is one of the most exciting times of the off season because there's a little lull, a few week lull from the end of the Super Bowl, the day after that until obviously there's been some moves this week with Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, him getting the tag and whatnot. There's obviously a trade deadline, but then next Monday the legal tampering begins. I mean, it's already began. Come on, let's be honest. Come on. Yeah, we're gonna see next year or next Monday. X amount of players agree to X amount of money in years with so-and-so team. And I cannot wait for that. It's one of my favorite times of the NFL, year of the NFL calendar. And my buddy and I was talking about there's something every single month for the NFL fan. Now there's a couple weeks of lull here, like I said. But yeah, I'm just excited because we have free agency in March. Excuse me. You have the draft in April. You have mini camps in May, and then you get ready for training camp. And here it comes. And here's the preseason games, and here's the regular season and the postseason, and we start it all over. And it's a great cycle. The NBA used to be my favorite sport. I used to not miss anything about the NBA. I don't miss anything NFL related. I love the NFL more than I love the NBA now. It's just, there's something about it. I still love basketball more than I love football from a playing standpoint, but just the NFL is king, and that's always been the thing. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this one short. I just want to get on here, talk about the latest happenings around the NFL. If you tuned in, appreciate you. If you liked, retweet this, or if you see this later, please like, retweet. I appreciate that in advance. Make sure to follow network_216 on Twitter. Make sure to follow Homage, all caps right down, Homage, and then go to homage.com. Make sure to use our links, find different deals that they put out and that we promote. Underdog Fantasy, use code 216 to match your first offer up to $100. 216 again is the code. Again, Faithful Dogs podcast not on tonight, taking a break this week. They'll be back next week, and they're going to have a lot to jump into. I'm going to have a lot to jump into next week. Every one of our shows is going to have a lot to delve into because there's going to be deals, and there's going to be some reactions. There's going to be good and bad takes we're going to see over social media. We'll discuss all of that next week. I'm sure we'll have daily content videos for you. Make sure to go follow us. Make sure to subscribe to the Network 216 YouTube channel. Make sure to do that. On different giveaways, and we're planning on different things once we get to certain subscribers. We want to get to 2,000 by the end of spring. It's a tall order, but we've done tall orders before, so we want to do another tall order and then keep growing and growing and growing it and get even taller orders. That's what we strive for. Strive to bring you the best Cleveland content daily. I think we're picking up steam. This is a good time for it. The off season is king in the NFL. Even like for Dog Pound Daily, make sure to check me out there and all my other teammates there. Even this time period does numbers sometimes, just on things you wouldn't think, do much numbers, and boom, you look at, wow, like a lot of people are reading that. Okay, cool. That's what we love. As content creators, we love to see the views. We love to have people interact with us. That's what it's all about. And that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what this team wants. That's what we're doing. That's what we're setting out to do. So again, Dog Chug, 10 p.m. I don't know if they're Cavs Chug tonight. They're Cavs Dog Chug. Let's see Roger sent out the promo. Dog Chug is live, 10 p.m. Eastern, Network 216 YouTube page. Update, top 10, Spit Sip Chug. Alum with Dog Chug, alum and owner of 12 elite personalities in Columbus. Again, Andy, Ross, Roger, make sure to check them out. They always have entertaining guests, so make sure to check them out. 10 p.m. right here on the Network 216 YouTube. And again, appreciate anyone who chimed in, or the one person who chimed in. And if you watched at any point tonight, or if you watch any time that's not March 8th, 2023 at 7:44, you're appreciated as well. Make sure to check us all out. And until then, go Browns.